it's Valerie, your Cithe. Today's video, we are going to talk about henna, the magic of henna and how to henna your hair, mixed in with a little bit of Cithe alchemy. So what is henna? Henna is a plant. It's commonly known for staining of the skin, aka your hair. It's best known for its temporary tattoos on your hands and on your feet. Some fun facts about henna is Cleopatra used to use henna to deep condition and stain her hair. She also used to use it on her skin to keep it young and youthful, because henna also has anti-aging properties. Henna was also used before Christ to heal wounds on the skin such as arthritis, eczema, ringworm, and etc. Egyptians would paint the nails of the mummies during the mummification process. This was part of a beauty process for the mummification process. They would use red henna on the nails and paint the nails red before the mummy was actually mummified. Egyptians also referred to henna as nimi. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not quite sure. But nimi, which means life is in it. Indian brides use henna and they will get henna tattoos before their wedding day. This is actually part of their wedding ritual. It's to welcome prosperity, love, and good fortune into the newly wedded marriage. So what are the magical properties of henna? First off, it's very alluring, kind of like a siren. It will attract and draw people in. It enhances abundance, love, and prosperity. It aids in self-expression and loving oneself. Henna also has both solar and lunar-like energies, meaning it's very balanced, like a yin and a yang. Henna kind of acts like a protection spell on your head. It acts as a protection spell for your hair itself, your crown chakra. It activates your crown chakra and your third eye. While it's doing all this, it also protects your hair's antennas, meaning your extrasensory feelers. Henna has very much a goddess-like energy. Its name is even Henna, kind of like the Hawaiian goddess name Henna or Hina, however you wish to pronounce it. That being said, even though it has goddess-like energies, men and women can both use henna. We all have masculine and feminine energy. It's just to what level of that energy do we have. Sometimes my husband even likes to use henna from time to time, so men can use henna. It does aid in balancing the emotional body, meaning it helps you let go of the lower density vibrations such as anger, fear, and sadness. It allows you to balance out. Now, what are the pros and cons of henna? This is all from my own experience of using henna. And honestly, I'm giving you the blunt and honest truth about using henna on your hair. Basically, I'll let you decide what's a pro and what's a con. So, it's all natural. It repairs the skin's hair cells. So with this, it's actually allowed my hair to start growing. I actually, when I was younger, was constantly bleaching my hair, constantly frying my hair off. Then I also went through some medical conditions where my hair started to actually fall out and thin out, which didn't help because I was also bleaching it constantly. So it's helped my hair repair itself, and while doing that, it's helped it grow and also become thicker. Henna does take 8 hours to apply. I've left mine on actually for 18 hours and it has not damaged or done anything to my hair negative. It's only made it better. Henna is very long-term color. Like when I say long-term, it's there. It's not going anywhere. Once you henna, you cannot unhenna your hair. Henna can be used as much as you want. You can use it anytime you want. So if you hennaed your hair one day, you can henna your hair the next day. It's not going to damage your hair. Personally, I henna my hair probably too much, but I henna my hair once a month, once a lunar cycle, all the time. Henna my hair all the time. With using henna on your hair all the time, something that I have noticed is it actually does add more depth and more layers into the red hues. So why would a hairstylist tell you no to using henna? Again, I'm being blunt, I'm sharing the truth. It's a long-term color. They are not going to be able to remove it. They're not going to want to remove it. The only way to remove it is by letting your hair grow out and do that awkward phase where it's like half and half. That's the only way you're going to be able to remove henna. They do not want to fry your hair off. They do not want to try to lift that henna out of your hair because it's only going to damage your hair to lift it out of your hair. And it's not going to happen. The only way they can do anything to fix the henna is by coloring over the henna with a darker color, which that too could take a process. That too, the henna is going to try to seep through and show itself. The other reason a hairstylist is not going to want to recommend henna is a hairstylist pays their bills by offering their services, which I understand. Everyone has to survive, everyone has to eat, everyone has to provide for themselves. But their most profitable service is hair coloring, is offering their hair coloring service. So of course they're not going to want to recommend henna to you when their most profitable service is hair coloring, which I totally get. I get it. The best advice I could give to anyone questioning whether they want to henna their hair or not is if you're thinking short-term color, just do your regular hair routine. Go to your hairstylist. Go do your normal color routine. Don't use henna yet. Don't use henna until you're ready to commit. And if you're not ready to commit, it's okay. Guess what? It took me forever to finally commit to changing my hair color red. So just be ready and only know to henna your hair when you're ready to commit. Personally, my overall thoughts on henna and using henna on your hair is I freaking love it. I've been hennaing my hair for 5 years now, and I would not do any other product on my hair. I love henna. Heck, I love henna so much enough to share the process of how to henna your hair and to just share my knowledge of henna with just whoever wants to learn how to henna your hair or whoever wants to learn about henna. So duh, I love henna. Are you ready to learn how to henna your hair? If so, let's begin.
Alright, so if you wish, go ahead and get a notebook ready. The only reason why I suggest this is because there is a few things to remember while doing henna on your hair. Also, there's a few steps and you're going to need some things to do the process. So let's go ahead and get started with step 1. Step 1 is the mixing and preparing of the henna and also getting ready for the following steps to come. So the first checklist is you're going to want a mixing bowl that's made of glass, plastic, or wood, no metal. Same with your mixing spoon. You're going to want hot water, henna, and any additional herbs for alchemy purposes. Or you can also use rose and hibiscus, also cinnamon, all kinds of things, turmeric, to make it a deeper color or to make it a brighter color red. So, gonna show you some of the ingredients that I use. These are some of the things that I use. One thing I forgot to mention is make sure you have oil for your hair. It can be grapeseed oil or anything like that. I'll leave all my products that I use down below and where I get them from. My favorite brand of henna is from Light Mountain. So the first part into doing henna is to go ahead and mix the ingredients. You're going to go ahead and empty the powder into the bowl. And you're going to go ahead and start getting water boiling. You want it hot. And then this is also where I incorporate alchemy. So if you wish to incorporate alchemy into your practice, you can do so as well. And also, just gonna say really fast, there is a piece of paper in the Light Mountain box that actually has a hair cap and gloves. Keep that to the side. You're gonna want that for later. So, alchemy part. If you're not wishing to do alchemy, you do not have to watch this part or follow this part, but I'm going to use a rose. I simply put my rose in with intention, and as I'm stirring, I don't take my focus off of stirring my pot. Kind of think of it as like a witch over her cauldron. But I stir and I stir and I stir and I stir while I'm focusing on that intention until the water comes to a rapid boil. So finally coming to that rapid boil. As soon as it's at that rapid boil, go ahead and cap that boiling water with a lid. Once your water has cooled, make sure it's cooled so that you can handle it. Like, it can still be hot, but not boiling. Go ahead and start mixing your henna. All right, so once we're done adding water, we're gonna make sure we mix our henna, and kind of think of it as like you're about to bake something. You want to mix all the flour and all the ingredients together. Make sure you're mixing all of the henna together. You want to make sure it's all wet, all the same consistency. So we're gonna mix, and I'll show you what the consistency will look like once you've added enough water and once you've known that you've mixed it correctly. Which we are about done here, actually. Sometimes you do want to kind of because it's like mud, so you want to really get into it. But you want to make it look like kind of like a clumpy yogurt. You don't want it too runny. I guess it'd be more like cottage cheese. You want it to be like a cottage cheese that's nice and thick. But not runny. Because then it will be seeping down your head, and then it will stain the sides of your head. So cap it, cover it somehow, and then let it cool, because it's hot right now and you don't want to put it on your head. Let it cool for about an hour to 3 hours. So step 2 is the application process. And the application process, these are the things that we're going to need. We're going to need our plastic gloves, our hair cap, our saran wrap, and then something to protect the floor, such as a towel, a sheet, a rug, and then an old t-shirt. In the second process of the henna, you're going to want to take a shower and go ahead and clean yourself and get your hair nice and wet. Wash it with like baby shampoo or something that's very gentle to your hair, like baby shampoo. I normally use baby or Mane of Tails. Then you're going to want to protect your floor. If you have a little one, sometimes it's hard to protect your floor. Or maybe he likes to help. All right, and then what we're going to go ahead and do is get all of our ingredients down. Make sure you have everything ready and near you, because you're going to start making a mess. This is kind of the fun part. Go ahead and put oil all up your arms. You want it all the way up your arms. Henna gets everywhere, so like everywhere. And then you're going to put it around the rim of your head, the back of your neck, around the ears, behind the ears. I massage all of the ears because for somehow henna gets everywhere. And then really get the palms of your hands as well. And if you have metal jewelry on, such as a wedding ring, I highly suggest taking it off so that you're not damaging your ring. All right, so once we're all done, we're gonna go ahead and make sure we have our gloves and our hair cap. Have the hair cap nearby. Gloves in hands, on hands. Then you're also going to want to make sure you have your saran wrap. Good thing I made sure I did that. But you're going to want to make sure you have your saran wrap on to the side as well with your hair cap, kind of for like a safety. And then get your henna. And you just start going to town. I highly suggest, honestly, starting with your roots. That's just how I've learned it works best, and I've done henna on others' hair and it just worked better that way. But starting with the roots and then working to the antennas, as I call them, but the ends of your hair, and really making sure you just get all the way behind the ears, the back of the head. We tend to miss the back of the head. You have that oil as a protection barrier. Go ahead and rub as much as you can. Flip your head upside down. You may have to do that. You're going to be looking crazy. And this part does take a minute. You're just going to want to make sure you keep massaging it. Get really, 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 really in there. Really around the ears, like our sideburn areas. Get those. Yes, get those. All right. And then make sure you really get the ends. I kind of give it a nice massage. And you will look silly, like I said, but go ahead and give it a nice massage. Work it into the roots too. That way you're not missing any roots. But even if you do, you can always re-henna your hair the next day. It's not going to damage anything. And then what my final little thing is to make sure you get those roots, like a final like safety mechanism, is to separate your hair as much as you can. Take whatever clump you have left of henna and then shove it in there. Shove it in there. And then fold your hair up around it and make a bun with your hair. As my husband likes to call it, I look like a cone head when I do henna. I don't know if you've seen the movie Coneheads, but that's what he always says. Hi, my little cone head. Make sure you really get the back of your hair too. Alright, gloves. Take them off. Be very careful. It stains everything, gets on everything. When I say it stains everything, I mean it stains everything. It's going to get into your gloves no matter what. It stains. But you have that oil barrier, so it will wash off your hands. Just saying. Give it like a day or two and it will wash off. Put your hair cap on. Best advice, start with the corner. Tuck that at the back of the head. And then bring it forward and tie the rest in the front if you can. Some people might have longer hair than I do. I don't really have that long of hair. My hair is pretty thin, so I can actually tie it. Some people might not be able to, and I totally understand that. Just try to make sure it's as tight as you can get it. Alright, you're going to want to grab your saran wrap, but before you actually do saran wrap your head, make sure you clean up all that little side pieces that get, you don't really have to, I mean I do, it's just an extra step if you wanted to do it. Safety. I use baby wipes, gentle on the skin, they're not as chemically bad for the skin. My theory is if I put it on my baby and my dog, or if I would put it on a baby or a dog, I'll use it on myself. So once you're all clean and you feel better, then grab the saran wrap. And it's okay, it will wash off like I said. You're going to see some stains, don't freak out too much. That's why we oil. Oil. So we're literally just going to wrap our head with saran wrap. You're going to look silly. You're going to feel weird. Make sure you really get the back of the head. Get the back of the head. And even feel. I always feel. Like, is there any henna? Do I feel anything? Feel. And then once you're done, just rip off the saran wrap, put it away, fold it up on your head like you would on food or any other item that you're saran wrapping. And then go ahead and you can lift it up because it's going to feel uncomfortable. Lift it up a little bit on your head sometimes you might have to break the sides and kind of pop your ears up a little bit to like let some tension off, which is okay, but let your ears out so you're not hurting your ears. Ears are sensitive. And then you're just gonna sit like this for a while. Yes, beautiful, right? So step 3 is the waiting process. So now we have to wait like this for 8 hours plus. So it does take, for the best results, 8 hours to henna your hair. So what are you gonna do in this 8 hours? Well, me, I go to sleep. I just let myself sleep for 8 hours and then wash my hair the next morning. That's one way you can do it. There's other things you can do. You can play with your dog as Otis comes in, cuddles with me. You can have a Netflix and chill day, or like a Hulu day, a little marathon. I normally will do like a Twilight marathon or a Charmed marathon. You can also maybe even read a book, do some studying, do whatever you want. Just kind of chill for 8 hours minimum. Work from home, whatever your heart desires. Call it you time. Step 4 is the rinsing process. This is fun. So, third checklist, you're wanting 2 towels, water to rinse, shampoo, conditioner, etc. It's pretty self-explanatory. But 2 towels, that's pretty much number 1. You want 2 towels. Alright, so once you got your water at a good temperature, just go ahead, put your head in the sink and go to town. I will recommend doing this in a sink with a garbage disposal. This is just because I'm married to a plumber and henna is mud, so it does clog up drains. But if you have a garbage disposal, you can go ahead and run the garbage disposal right after your henna process, and it will go down a lot better than going down your bathroom drain. It's not really, it's a very thick, once you use henna, you'll understand. It's very thick, it's very strong. So go ahead and use it down the garbage disposal. So this is where towel number 1 comes in. Go! Go ahead and put the towel over your head, and so that you can kind of like operate and not be dropping henna everywhere. But once you got majority of the big clumps out, fill your sink or whatever, your bathtub, up with water. I call this process the mermaid process. So what you're going to do is put the remaining part of your head underwater and then just start to shake it like a mermaid once the water fills up. So once we've done the mermaid process, we're going to go ahead and start washing our hair and getting the rest of the henna out. You can still see some of the fine chunks in there, so go ahead and run some water through your hair. It might help you out a little bit. Go ahead and grab some shampoo. It's okay if you still have a little bit. This will help. Grab some shampoo. Make sure it's something, again, my theory, if you would use it on your baby or your dog, go ahead and use it on yourself. It's going to be safer for this process. So shampoo first, as usual, and then same thing with the conditioner. Use a conditioner that's very safe for, again, theory. If you'd use it on your baby or if you'd use it on your dog, go ahead and use it on yourself. That's just my motto there. And then rinse your hair, of course. So this is when you're going to grab towel number 2. You don't want to grab towel number 1 because towel number 1 has all that previous henna. I go ahead and add a hair mask onto my hair before I do this part. If you want and you got most of the henna out, if you feel like you got most of the henna out, you can actually stop here and go ahead and just rinse your hair. However, most of the time I feel like I have henna still in my hair, or I feel like I have henna all over my body, or I slept with henna, so I want to wake up and take my morning shower. So yes, but this is when you grab your second towel. I go ahead and put the second towel on my head, and then I use my first towel and I clean up my sink to make sure that I don't have henna all over my metal. It just does not have good effects with metal. It turns the metal green and brassy and not pretty. So I kind of make sure I wipe it up. Plus I'm a little OCD. Ta-da! And then put the wedding ring back on. If you have jewelry, go ahead and put it back on. Friendly reminder. So now, my final step is I go ahead and take my shower. Again, this is something I do recommend just because you might feel like you have henna all over your body. It is a messy process. So take a shower. You ready for the last step? The last step is to just let your hair down and let your beauty shine. And that is it. That is how to henna your hair. If you like this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. If you would like to learn more sea fairy alchemy, I am trying to set the intention to provide more sea fae alchemy videos here in the future. Planning on starting to post them every other Saturday or so, but just stay tuned. Subscribe to our channel if you do like this video. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the notification button so that you're also being notified when we upload new videos. I am sending you guys so much love, so much light, so much healing, and so much magic. Don't fear in believing, guys. And until next time, bye. Mwah.